If you haven't heard of Nicolas Berggruen yet, it's time to start taking note. The businessman began with a $250,000 trust fund and is now worth well over $2.3 billion. He spent his life turning around businesses in Europe while also spending time and money improving things in the United States, such as California, where he spent a year living out of hotels to help them raise millions of dollars in an effort to prevent them from hitting bankruptcy. Nowadays, the German-American dual citizen travels the world in his private jet, lives in hotels, and has been dubbed the homeless billionaire by the press. However, his remarkable life details don't stop there. In today's video, we are going to talk about the incredible life of the homeless billionaire Nicolas Berggruen. Berggruen's fabulous roots. Berggruen's father, Heinz, was a personal friend of Pablo Picasso and once had an affair with artist Frida Kahlo. He was a well-known art collector, having founded the Berggruen Museum and amassed the world's largest Picasso collection. Berggruen's mother, Bettina Moisi, was even a famous German actress. His first language is German, but fluent in both English and French. School and college life. Nicolas was expelled from boarding school as a child, but excelled in college. Although German, he grew up in Paris and went to boarding school in Switzerland. Nicolas was quite talented in his early years, as he even drafted a constitution for a utopian country when he was just 15 years old. He moved across the Atlantic to attend New York University for college, where he studied finance and international business and graduated in just 2 years. Early investments. With his savings and a $250,000 trust fund, he began investing in bonds, real estate, and hotel chains. He established the Berggruen Holdings, a holding company for all of his investments, just a few years after graduating from college. Berggruen had eclectic taste. He purchased real estate throughout the West Village and in Brooklyn's Bed-Stuy neighborhood, as well as global hotel chains. He even took over the eyewear company FGX, restructured it, and took it public for a profit. Nicolas also co-founded a hedge fund in 1988, which was later sold. Becoming the homeless billionaire. Berggruen travels with only a small bag of clothes and his BlackBerry. He keeps random clothing and other belongings in hotels all over the world since he travels quite a bit. So much so, he visited 14 countries between July and August in 1 year. Berggruen is a simple man who lives minimalistically to a degree, but has earned enough money to enjoy the luxury things in life. Nomadic beginnings. After a string of successes, Berggruen decided to embark on the nomadic life in early 2000. This is when he sold all of his residential properties and began staying in hotels. When he travels for business, however, he does so in his private jet. Berggruen meets with the media from his hotel. He's been seen at several popular ones such as the Carly Hotel in New York City, Hotel Cipriani in Venice, Chote Marmont in Los Angeles, and the Peninsula Hotel in San Francisco. This is when the media started calling him the homeless billionaire because of this lifestyle. The only thing Nicolas misses is his art collection because he has an emotional attachment to it. Berggruen's contemporary art collection. Nicolas grew up in the art world because his father was a collector. As a little boy, Nicolas was interested in the aesthetics and beauty in art. He claims being around art since a young age helped modify his DNA and created an appreciation for art. Berggruen's collection started in the 80s and 90s while living in New York. His inner social circle were artists and was even lucky enough to meet Andy Warhol. Immediately after meeting Andy, he started collecting Warhol and Basquiat pieces because he simply enjoyed their work. Currently, he collects Petra Kortright and John Raffman, where he describes their work as interesting because there's a combination of an aesthetic mind and the use of contemporary tools. Berggruen's popularity. Berggruen is best known for purchasing the bankrupt German department store chain Karstadt for only €1. He bought the company in 2005, immediately injecting over 65 million euros, which is $83 million, and saving over 25,000 jobs. He then invested 400 million euros in the company over the next 5 years, bringing it out of bankruptcy in 2010. Berggruen and politics. When he was younger, Nicolas was a left-wing enthusiast and a fan of French existentialist philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre. For a time, he also refused to speak English because he believed it was the language of imperialism. Naturally, he made peace with capitalism eventually. Berggruen's view of democracy called for an inclusive political culture and positive nationalism. He states, "Democracy is really about giving individuals a place in society, a voice, respect. In some ways, equality is humans. It's also a system. It's not every individual for themselves. It has to be society as a whole. His political experience also allowed him to publish 2 books, The Intelligent Governance for the 21st Century in 2012 and Renovating Democracy, Governing in the Age of Globalization and Digital Capitalism in 2019. California and Nicolas Berggruen. As mentioned earlier, Nicolas recently devoted a large portion of his time and energy to assisting California. Berggruen spent several months of the year in a hotel around California and has recently been politically active in assisting the near-bankrupt state. Berggruen has asked for a minimum contribution of $20 million to support campaigns attempting to enact the ideas proposed by the Think Long Committee into law. These proposals are expected to become law either through the state's ballot initiative process or through the California state legislature. Why is he so attached to the state, you ask? In a January 2011 interview with the Los Angeles Times, he states, "California is worth saving, to put it bluntly. California has a great history and will have a great history. Other places in the world, including other parts of America, I don't believe have that, unfortunately. California has a lot of history and a lot of charm, but there's so much new and there's so much new talent that California is brand new. When I saw all of this sunshine, palm trees, people, and openness, it was very vibrant, very seductive. I still adore it. When I'm here, I'm very happy." The Nicolas Berggruen Institute. Berggruen donated more than $100 million to establish the Institute, which has offices in Berlin, Los Angeles, New York, and Washington. The Institute's mission is to investigate new ideas of good governance, and recently the agency hosted the Council for the Future of Europe. Berggruen's think tank is constantly developing new ideas to shape political, economic, and social institutions, ultimately creating a vision that is bigger than his own. It is this interest in the future, in human culture, and the substantial questions it invites that makes Nicolas Berggruen an intriguing personality to watch. Berggruen's big bet on philosophy. Nicolas believes the great thinkers of human history may be able to provide some solutions in our time of political and economic upheaval. According to Berggruen, "I've always felt philosophy doesn't get enough attention. We are still shaped by ideas and the people who created them thousands of years ago." Berggruen hopes to inspire scholars and intellectuals to engage with the great traditions founded by figures such as Socrates and Confucius. His institute, which seeks to advance ideas in politics, economics, and social organization, recently awarded its first $1 million Berggruen Prize for Philosophy to the Canadian scholar Charles Taylor. At 55 years old, Berggruen is now working on a physical space for the Institute. The secular monastery, as he calls it, will house around 50 thinkers on 400 acres of land in Los Angeles Hills. The plans are being worked on by Herzog and the Muron architects. Celebrating with Berggruen. Every year, the night before the Oscars, Berggruen throws a party at the famed Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles. Celebrities such as Leonardo DiCaprio and Paris Hilton have been known to attend. An old-fashioned playboy. Berggruen dates models and actresses, but interestingly enough, ends the relationship by telling them that they can find someone better than him. "I want to be fair to people," he told New York Magazine. "I can't devote enough energy, time, and devotion to her." That seems reasonable to us. What about you? In 2016, Berggruen had 2 children in a new age way that is very acceptable in today's society. He had 1 egg donor and 2 surrogates to have births 3 weeks apart. His daughter's name is Olympia and his son's name is Alexander. He is often asked why he had kids this way. Berggruen explained it nicely in the Financial Times interview. "I felt the same hormonal need that I think a lot of women must experience," he says of having children. "It was an urge to create life beyond one's own, but that is still connected." Signing the Warren Buffett pledge. As if he needed another boost to sainthood, Berggruen has signed Buffett's giving pledge, promising to give away more than half of his fortune when he dies. "Everyone is dealt a deck of cards at birth," said Berggruen, "possibilities and responsibilities accompanying them. It is up to each of us to decide what to do with them, and the sum of our choices constitutes our lives." This wraps up today's video. Have you heard of Nicolas Berggruen prior to this video? What interesting detail did you enjoy the most? Share with us your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed today's content, check out this related video to see more. Until next time.